My name is Manny Sarmiento, I'm the president, CEO, co-founder of the Doral Chamber of Commerce. I want to thank our producer. I want to thank Michael and Grant Miller. If you hear me speaking fast, it's because we have to cut the short a little bit. So in our audience is our lovely VP, CFO, co-founder, and my wife, Carmen Lopez. She's never on the scenes. One of these days, I'm going to interview her. So we are here with a very, very special guest. This is Robert J. Gonzalez,
Yes,
District 11 Commissioner, also a member of the Doral Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
That's great. Thank you for your support always. We've had you as a member for so many years. It's great to have you on board. At one point, you were our official attorneys. We missed that, but I understand the conflict of interest. So tell me how you're doing today.
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on the show, Manny. Always a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you. Likewise. This is a very special topic. Today, we're going to talk about the issue that you brought up on fluorine in the water. Before that, I do want to invite you to go to our website, doralchamber.org. Look into our membership. We have 36 trustees and growing. Our digital marketing is here to help you grow your business. We're unique and different. And also, we are supporting and part of Miami Airport Chamber. We have an event this Wednesday, the second lunch. The first one's very successful with 113 attendees. We're at EB Hotel with our very special guest speaker, Sandra Peebles, MiamiAirportChamber.com. Visit that and join us on Wednesday, the 30th at EB Hotel. With that said, Rob, we're here with a very controversial topic. I know, Michael and Grant love controversy. Nah, just kidding. But, it's a very controversial topic. And I think the first question is, we're talking about fluorine. You brought up the issue, right?
Yeah, to take fluoride out of the water, which to be honest with you, I don't understand why it's controversial. Like, this shouldn't be controversial. It's health, right?
Well, you have 5 different medical opinions, and people with one way to look at it. One of the things that, and our producer asked us, this has been, I understand, since 1958, we've had fluorine in
Miami-Dade, right? Which is pretty crazy, right? So the first time that fluoride starts getting put in water is in 1945, which is really interesting because in 1945, they were telling us that cigarettes were good for our health, but that's another story. Mm-hmm. So in 1958, we started putting fluoride in water in Miami-Dade County. When fluoride first starts getting put into water, there's a very distinct difference as to where we're at now. Fluoride didn't exist in toothpaste and it didn't exist in mouthwash back then, right? And so in 1958, the CDC and the EPA is recommending that we put a 2.4 ppm level of fluoride in our water. And they say, hey, man, this is super healthy. This is great for you. This is going to be amazing. This is the greatest thing that has ever happened in medical history. Lo and behold, 1975, because of a federal lawsuit, EPA needs to go back and say, we made a mistake. 2.4 ppm is actually really dangerous. And we're very sorry. We're very sorry, right? Also, just like the cigarettes, very dangerous. We got to go back to, we got to push it back to 1.2 ppm. And so
what's our level now in Miami-Dade County?
Oh, man, I'm getting there, brother. So in 1975, we go down from 2.4 to 1.2. Then, lo and behold, in 2015, again, we're so sorry. We made another mistake. 1.2 seems to be a little bit too high, and there's an unreasonable risk, and it's not good for you, right? So we need to go down to 0.7. 0.7 is where we're at now. So how did all of this get prompted? Very simple. Last year, 2024, there is a 7-year lawsuit that has been going on in California because of fluoride levels. So last year, September of 2024, the federal judge looks at all of this evidence for 7 years and decides, hey, there's an unreasonable risk for neurotoxicity and issues to mental development, specifically for children, pregnant mothers, and any resident who drinks fluoride at a 0.7 ppm level. So the federal judge mandates...
We're 1.5, you said.
We're at 0.7.
Oh, 0.7. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
So the judge mandates the EPA to look at what they're recommending because 0.7 is an unreasonable risk. This is the judge that looked at 7 years of evidence talking, not me. Mm-hmm. So judge makes that decision. After the judge makes that decision, lo and behold, the Surgeon General of Florida, Dr. Joseph Ladapo, who, I mean, we don't have to talk about his CV here, but he was being considered for the head of the CDC by this president. He's also went to Harvard 3 times, right? So he recommends that the state of Florida remove it completely. Right? A lot of different counties start removing it. The state of Utah, whom I've talked to the attorney general and to the representative who put it forward in Utah, they put forward a resolution to remove it. And so I have Dr. Joseph Ladapo come down to Miami-Dade County and speak at my committee, the Safety and Health Committee. He gives a presentation. He brings Dr. Ashley Mallon, the only doctor in America that has done a study with human beings. She gives a presentation. Several dentists come. The public speaks. And a lot of people wanted fluoride to be removed.
But Mayor Cava had these dentists, as she brought up, supporting her position. Now she vetoed the commission. The commission passed
right.
it.
So this was during committee, right?
Right.
So I brought it to the committee. We heard it at my committee. The presentation, right? After that presentation, I put forward a resolution. The chairman waves it on to the next BCC meeting. We have a town hall. I invite any dentist, any professional, any expert to come and speak at the town hall, right? After that one, it goes straight to the BCC and we vote on it. That day, we have hundreds of people show up, right?
What was the vote?
The vote was an overwhelming 8-2 vote, bipartisan, huge margin, 5 Republicans, 3 Democrats in favor. And we chose to put the health, safety, and medical freedom of the residents of Miami-Dade County on, over politics. And it's just, I'm very disappointed in the mayor because we have a great relationship and I think she's a good person, but I'm very disappointed in her because she didn't choose to do the same thing. And unfortunately, she put politics over health.
Okay, going back to the medical aspects of it, okay, it saves your teeth, right? Okay, perfect. So if we already have it in our toothpaste, why do we need it in the water?
That's an interesting question.
What's their
That's a really
argument?
Interesting question, Manny, because not only is it in our toothpaste, not only is it in mouthwash, it's also in the food that you eat. Right
now, it's fluoride. I said fluorine earlier. I think I was wrong.
It's fluoride,
right? Not fluorine.
So it's also in the food we eat. Fluoride is in the food you eat. So this is how you get to consuming too much of it, right? But I think another great point that hasn't been brought up, right? Because the mayor has experts, but it's very unfortunate that the mayor's top expert didn't know that in 1958 we had higher levels of fluoride at 2.4, and we actually had to lower them to 0.7. That's really weird that expert didn't know that. But aside from that, the director of the CDC is on record quoted saying the benefit of fluoride is in topical care. Now, topical means that you put it on your teeth and you spit it out. And that makes sense, right? Because when you read the back of a toothpaste bottle, I think it says don't swallow, right? So, the director of the CDC says, hey, the benefit of fluoride is in topical care, not in ingestion. There's absolutely no benefit to ingesting the fluoride. As a matter of fact, pediatricians, they recommend that any baby under 6 months does not consume fluoride. And I know this because I have a 6-month-old.
Well, now you have an 8-2 vote, and then you have the mayor who vetoed it, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. So what's the position of other counties, other cities? I mean, throughout the entire United States on Florida.
It's crazy because we've had a lot of cities reach out to us, right? Like just last week, the city of Hialeah passed a resolution unanimously supporting that the fluoride be removed. The city of West Miami has done the same thing. More importantly, right? This is the most important thing. There's a bill that has been filed in the Senate and in the House of Representatives in the state of Florida. It has already passed the Senate, and it is to remove fluoride from every single county and city in the state of Florida. That has already passed in the Senate. It's going to be heard in the House, hopefully this week.
You think this week?
Hopefully this week.
They're closing this week, right?
Yeah, hopefully this week. And then once it closes, we've already had conversations with the governor's office. The governor's going to sign it immediately. So, it was just not the right thing to veto.
How does it affect if it passes a state? Can we pass individual laws? Like we can't do it with plastic and things like that because the state passed a law. Can she still veto it even though the state passes?
Well, no. I mean, if it passes in the state, then her veto becomes moot, which means it becomes, there's no reason for the veto because the state has already decided it.
But you're going to challenge it on the next commission meeting. I mean,
May 6th. Anybody and everybody who's interested in this topic, I don't care if you're for, I don't care if you're against, you need to have your voice heard. Come on May 6th and give your opinion at the county commission. But we are going to be hopefully moving to remove the veto.
Okay, controversial question. What do you do at home?
What do I do at home?
Do you have your water filtered out?
You know what's crazy is like the pediatrician that we go to has said, hey man, do not give the baby fluoride, right? So when that happened, right? So when you're giving a baby when a baby stops breastfeeding and the baby is then going on to formula, you have to mix the formula with water, right? So a lot of people. Luckily, we're blessed and we can go to Whole Foods and we can get water with no fluoride in it, which is what we do, right? But unfortunately, there's a lot of people that can't do that. As a matter of fact, the filtration systems that are necessary in order to remove fluoride from your water are from $3,000 to $5,000. But instead of that, right, if you do want fluoride, let's say you do want fluoride, right, and let's say that you can't afford to buy toothpaste or mouthwash, right, there are several different organizations all throughout Miami-Dade County that will give you free toothpaste with fluoride and even fluoride tablets, right? As a matter of fact, we just met with, what's the name of the organization? We just met with Caring for Miami. They are at Baptist West. Every Wednesday, they will give you free dental care to anybody and everybody who needs it. They're in my district in Baptist West. Every Wednesday, all you have to do is go on their website. They're called Caring for Miami, and they will give you toothpaste, mouthwash, but they'll also do X-rays and full dental care.
Wow, that's awesome. So, what is the what's the position of most of your constituents? How do they feel?
Most of my constituents are overwhelmingly to remove fluoride. As a matter of fact, when we had the original vote on April 1st, man, hundreds of people showed up. So, it's a little disheartening when the mayor says that people didn't get a chance to talk about this. Just because people didn't say what you wanted them to say, it doesn't mean that they didn't speak. It just means that they don't agree with you.
Why do you feel that she's taking that position?
I don't know.
And what's the cost to Miami-Dade County to Florida?
That is the most interesting question, right? That's the $1 million question.
I always say follow the money,
right? That's the $1 million question, right? Because you know what's crazy, and I think we can end with this, right? When I originally started investigating the fluoride, I asked the Department of Water to tell me how much this is costing.
You like controversy, right? I know that was a controversy.
They asked me
I thought about asking or not asking. I said, we got to ask the right questions. So what's it cost?
So I asked them, I'm like, hey, how much is this costing the county? They get back to me and they gave me over an $800,000 figure, close to $1 million, right? It's funny that, everybody thought that this wasn't going to pass. The day that we went up for the vote, it seems like people were like, oh my gosh, it seems like this is going to pass. The department then, they give out flyers to the county commissioners saying that it only costs $500,000. So like within a few weeks.
But you had an invoice for $800,000.
Oh no, we have the receipts, sir. Like we have this in writing. So like, it's just shocking that in a few days, right, it changes from this costs $800,000 to, whoa, this might pass. It's only costing $500,000. That to me, I'm not saying there's foul play here, but it's very weird.
Yeah, you're putting yourself in a very challenging situation. I've never seen you in a controversial issue as strong as this one here.
Well, because I don't think this is controversial, right? Look, man, I think a lot of people are trying to make it political, and this is not political. I'm going to tell you why.
I've heard that.
This has been a Democrat talking point for over 10 years. As a matter of fact, the last time that this was talked about on the county commission was by Dennis Moss, who's a renowned Democrat, right? You've had civil rights leaders like Andrew Young, right? Andrew Young has come out and he's been fighting the fight to remove fluoride, saying that impoverished neighborhoods are the ones that suffer the most because they can't afford these $5,000 filtration systems, right? You've had R.F. Kennedy, who's a lifelong Democrat who has been fighting this fight for over 10 years. And the most interesting thing is that the judge that has mandated last year and told the EPA that they have to look at how much they are how much they're recommending how much levels they're recommending of fluoride. That judge was appointed by Barack Obama. But Manny, look, I just got to be honest. The second that Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis take a look at evidence and say, hey, man, this looks like it might be a problem, all of a sudden it becomes a political issue. And that's disheartening, man. It's disheartening. It's sad, and it's not right.
If, let's say you're a parent now and you've made them aware of your constituents or the entire county or whoever listens to this, they're aware. Now they're worried. They didn't know this effect that it can have on kids. But did we talk about the effects on children, possible effects on children in studies?
Yeah, I mean, so it's a neurotoxin, and the effects are to IQ levels, ADHD, specifically problems with your brain, right? And so you can fix cavities, you can't fix your brain. And no level of risk is worth the risk of mental health.
But look at the benefits. Reduces cavities by about 25% in children and adults, associated with 11 to 12% lower rate of decay, missing filled teeth in adults exposed to fluoridated water. And you know, this is their defense for fluoride. I'm in agreement with you.
And I think the cool thing is that fluoride exists in toothpaste, right? And you have many organizations giving toothpaste and mouthwash with fluoride in it for free, right? And so if we remove it from the water, people will still be able to get the benefits of fluoride. But if we leave it there, if there is a 1%, and you know what? This is not even my quote. This is my colleague on the county commission, Oliver Gilbert, who came out and he gave a compelling speech about his son, right? Because there has been studies that have linked fluoride to autism, right? And in his speech, he said that if there is a 1% chance that this could be harmful, take it out of the water, especially when there are other ways that we're getting the fluoride.
Let's imagine that it doesn't pass for some reason. I'm hoping it will. Imagine it doesn't pass. As a parent, how can I? And I can't afford the $5,000 system to filter my water. Is this a solution?
Is the bottled water solution? I mean,
what about those pure filters?
So the best way to do it is to get a filtration system. The filtration systems are anywhere for $3,000 to $5,000, and you know, it's sad because the ones that would suffer the most are the most vulnerable, right? Those folks that can't afford to go to Whole Foods, those folks that can't afford to buy a $5,000 filtration system, those folks that can't afford to buy bottled water. Man, this is a luxury. This is not, you know, when I was growing up, my mom cleaned houses for a living. Right, my dad worked in a warehouse. Right, we didn't do bottled water, dude. Like, we didn't do bottled water. And my refrigerator didn't have the little, you know, the little filtration that we have today. We opened the refrigerator, we closed the refrigerator. We had un tambo de agua that we filled up, right? We filled it up, we put it in the refrigerator to keep it cold.
What about those jars? I have a jar of Pure at the office, and the other one of, I forget the name. Those do not filter fluoride.
They don't. They do not. They do not. And that is, you know, that's the sad thing, right? The most vulnerable are the ones that are going to suffer.
That's a great argument for the most vulnerable, because this is.
But regardless, I think that what folks at home need to know is that regardless of whether this gets preempted or not, right? It's sad that the mayor has chosen to want to force people to take this medication, but whether it gets preempted or not, the good thing is that at a state level, it's already passed the Senate. Seems it's going to pass the House this week, and it won't matter. And then aside from that, I know that, you know, you follow, you know, the health department. Just last week, we had food dyes that were banned, which, by the way, have been banned in Europe, just like fluoride has been banned in Europe from over 8 countries. These food dyes have been banned, thank God, finally, in the United States of America. And Robert F. Kennedy, who's our Secretary of Health, he has come out saying that he's going to be recommending very soon for the EPA to stop recommending fluoride. So look, I think the future looks bright. I think the golden age of America is before us. And I think that before we know it, whether this gets preempted or not, parents will be happy to know that at some point there won't be any more fluoride in their water. And right now is the time to wake up. And I think a lot of people are waking up.
All right, we are out of time, but 2 quick things. May 6th, what's the schedule for the meeting on May 6th?
May 6th, I would say be there as early as possible. Be there at 8 a.m. to sign up and speak your mind. Come by at the Stephen P. Clark Center, right? Come by and you'll be able to speak, whether you're for it or against it. Also, May 3rd, we have a Faith Family Festival at the fairgrounds in Tamiami Park. It's completely free. We're going to have pony rides, music, petting zoo. We're going to have food distribution for over 2,000 families, all completely free.
May 3rd. Perfect. Wonderful. God bless you. My name is Manny Sarmiento. Thank you, Rob. You're a champion for the community. I appreciate that. I love the work that you're doing. DeSantis made a good choice in putting you there, and then you got elected, re-elected. I'm happy for you because we've seen you as a great person. God bless you.
God bless you, sir.
My name is Manny Sarmiento. Thank you very, very much to the Miller family, the whole community here, our producers, Commissioner Rob Gonzalez. Thank you very, very much. Have a great weekend, and don't miss May 3rd. Rob's event. Thank you very, very much.